the guest list brought to you by StreamATL.net. And we are here at the Urban Book Night brought to you by the African American Book Club and powered by Tamika Newhouse. And I am so excited to be here. We have a plethora of creative people coming out, and they are so extremely talented, from speaking on issues regarding cultural diversity, African American issues in Atlanta, and it's just incredible and it's great, and you're going to have a great time, and I'm glad to be here. Hello, Atlanta. This is Patrice, and I'm on the guest list brought to you by StreamATL.net. And I am here at the Urban Book Night soiree powered by Miss Tameka Newhouse, as well as the African American on the Move Book Club. We have the woman of the hour, the creator, the put together magic wand holder. Right here.
That.
Okay.
I'm going to have to take that. I got magic wands and stuff.
Okay, that black girl magic is just oozing all through this event.
Thank
Please
you.
Tell us, how did you come to put this together?
Oh, gosh. When it comes to the idea of writers and book signings, nobody really gets like, ooh, I got to go to that. Like, nobody really gets excited about going to go see book writers. So I wanted to make the environment fun, light, friendly, and of course, alcohol in the mix can be wrong. So the concept behind the Urban Book Bash is to make reading fun and inviting. So that's what tonight is about.
Okay, so I'm hearing you speak a lot from a place of knowing, like you are a bookworm yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm a bookworm and I'm also a creator. So I have 16 books myself, and I published almost 200 books to date. So I'm very dedicated to the cause. I'm just saying.
I see that. So let's first, how do you find the time? Because there's 24 hours in a day.
How do I find the time? It's all about time management. So like really putting myself on a schedule. No lie. When I wake up in the morning, I look at my calendar. What do I have to do today? From every single thing, from an errand to run, to an interview, to an assignment, to a personal engagement. I make sure that I kind of stay organized, because otherwise I'll get overwhelmed. Because it's a lot. I have a media group. I have a publishing company. I have a whole entire nonprofit organization. And then I write and travel and speak myself. Oh my God, I'm tired just talking about it. But it's a lot. It's a lot. So it's all about time management. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I just got to ask, how many hours a night do you sleep?
I sleep a lot. I mean, I sleep on. I'm very, very stern on self-care.
Oh.
So it doesn't matter how busy I am. I'm going to still take a daily bath. I'm still going to have a glass of wine at the end of the day. And I'm still going to sometimes just lay there and just be. Even if for an hour, I may sit on my patio as well. So I try to find a good balance, because if I'm not okay, it doesn't matter what I do. I'm not going to be here.
You better say that, Queen. Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. The black girl magic.
And I do it every day.
Not only is she incredible, but she also wants you to be better as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have to understand, when creating sometimes is a spiritual journey. Because I think like when we really are walking into our purpose, we're connecting with something that sometimes other people don't understand. This is why sometimes we're so aggressive with our talents and in our projects, whether we're a painter, a musician, an actor, or a writer. Like when it comes to connecting and creating, that's like a spiritual connection. That's a journey. Like it really takes diving into who we are and really connecting to something that we probably really can't really explain, and pouring that out into whatever it is that we're trying to give out to the world.
We're going to have to talk about that later off camera, but let's dive into how you were able to create this event. What do you want people, so it's a two-part question. How do you want people to take away from this event? Because I know that you are a bookworm and you are a lover of stories.
Yes.
But what do you want them to take out most?
I want to take, I always throw out my humble beginnings. So my whole thing is from teen mom to CEO. And I literally started this company, which is AAMBC, with my 9-month-old son sitting in my lap. And I had a 4-year-old daughter as well. So for me, it's not about, oh, it's hard, I can't do it. It's all about, well, how? What realistically can I do to begin to kind of get this thing in motion? So it's all about just knowing who you are, your capabilities, and kind of owning that and staying consistent and determined in that. Yeah.
Wonderful. So you have any advice in inspiring event coordinators?
Ooh, patience, consistency, learning from your mistakes and learning who you are. I'm in lots of research, lots and lots of research, just making sure that you don't overspend or just, make the least amount of mistakes as possible. There's no such thing as a perfect journey. You're going to make a mistake, but the goal is to not make too many mistakes, So just those advice, yeah. That's it.
Don't mess up.
Don't mess up. We're going to put that on a t-shirt. I like that.
Thank you so much. Please tell me the people. No, wait. Please tell the people where to find you on social media.
For me, everything is my name. It's Tamika Newhouse. That's Tamika Newhouse, Newhouse. For AAMBC, you go to AAMBCawards.com. It's AAMBC Awards on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also for my personal page is my name on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well too. Yeah.
Well, I'll just throw in one more question for
Okay.
you. All right. So for the authors that are here tonight, because there are definitely a plethora of talented artists ranging from different types of issues, how do they come about of hearing about the African American on the Move Book Club?
When it comes to AAMBC, we host a lot of virtual meetups. So we try to get the messaging out there via social media, obviously, and then doing events like this within the city. It's all about really just connecting with us. Like, we don't turn anybody away. If you want to be a part of the organization, if you want to be a part of the movement, by all means, come and just join us. Like, we do this every year. Every year we host Black Writers Weekend. We do the Urban Book Bash every year, and all you have to do is sign up. For the most part, I feel that authors don't understand the importance of networking and not being a salesman. Like, you're not traveling to sell a book. You're traveling to sell yourself and your brand and then make connections. And so that's what the Urban Book Bash is about. I really want them to fuse themselves with opportunities and other creatives, get inspired by other people's energy, and capitalize off of that. Don't just travel just to sell a book. Like, what is that going to do? I hate when people come to my table personally and say, well, I don't read, but I'm going to support you anyway. And I tell them, that's okay. Because I don't need your $15. I don't need your $10. I need you to read it, enjoy it, and tell somebody about it. And that's what the Urban Book Bash is about. That's what Black Writers Weekend is about. It's about instilling, celebrating, and pushing folks forward. Real talk. Yeah.
Wonderful. Absolutely. So is there anything that you're looking forward to directly for tomorrow's award show?
I can't wait till Monday so I can go to sleep. But tomorrow, I'm always very nervous about the weekend because I set my bar high. And I expect a lot of myself. And even when people say good job, I always find something wrong. It could have went better. So I'm just looking forward to everybody really enjoying themselves. Like, if they don't enjoy themselves, if they don't really get inspired or meet somebody, shake hands, I want to see lots of smiles. Like, I really just want people to enjoy themselves. Like, we write books, we write films, we own publishing companies, we own production companies. That is something to celebrate. And everybody in that room is somebody. So that's all that matters. If they enjoy themselves, I can go to sleep on Monday.
All right, well, last question for you. Is there any plans in the future for Atlanta that you have? Any ideas that you're brainstorming about that you want to implement?
Of course.
Oh, okay, don't tell me all your secrets.
Right. But because I have this media group and I have this nonprofit organization, my idea is to have a headquarters where people are able to gravitate to for resources. Like, they can, because sometimes people want to physically see something. Everything is too digital and we're so disconnected. So my hope and my vision within the next 12 months is to have a physical place where people can come and get some consults and get some inspiration, get some resources, and also host events, things like that. So that is my goal. Yeah, I put it out in the atmosphere. I talked to God about it. I told him that's what I want. And I always get what I want for the most part because I work for it. So I know it's going to happen. It's all a matter of when. So that is what I'm focusing on.
Thank you so much coming out, Miss Tamika Sledge. Let me some of this goodness rub off on me.
Yeah. Look,
yes.
Chocolate too, y'all.
Ew.
Oh, it's melanin.
Yes. Well, thank you so much again. And we will be able to go and continue to have a great time here at the AAMBC. We're on the guest list, and there's more to come. Atlanta, this is Patrice, and we are on the guest list brought to you by StreamATL.net. I am here at the African American on the Move Book Club, and we have Urban Night, and I have the lovely Felicia Brookins with us, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her wonderful novel she just wrote, so please.
Hey, this is entitled Sister Nadine's Ways. Sister Nadine is who I call the saint that ain't. She wears the pants, the belt, and the drawers in her household and her church. I'm sure you know some people like that. This book has several different platforms. It has generational curses. It has church adulterous relationships. It has generational curses. It has religious spirits and religious traditions. And it has a woman who doesn't realize that she's caught up in the tradition of church. And she is wearing the image of it, but not the likeness.
That's so wonderful. So please tell me, what made you write a novel regarding this? It was a life story, or you probably experienced this vicariously through someone else? What was your thought process?
Well, I always say that every bit of fiction has a little sprinkle of truth in it. So I've had some encounters with some people in churches that seems though those particular people carry the image of God but not the likeness. You know those people who on Monday through Saturday they will cuss you out, and then on Sunday they chewing the peppermint, they saying, how you doing, I'm blessed, and then they get in the parking lot and smoke a cigarette or turn on Snoop Dogg or something like that. That's this kind of woman right here. Or you know those kind of Christians that say, I can do whatever I like and I'm justified, but you going straight to hell. That's Sister Nadine Simmons. She can't see the beam in her own eye, but she can see it in yours, and that's going to cause a problem.
All right, so I'm picking up the vibe that this is definitely in the setting of the South.
It is in the South. See that church right there, that good old, she attends Greater Trials Missionary Baptist Church. She's the head usher in charge of the church. She's also in charge of the church finances. She also runs the pastor and the first lady. You know, I'm sure y'all got some of those in your church. And she also runs her household. So her husband has lost his pants, his belt, and his drawers. So you have to read this book to find out if he gets those back.
So tell the good people on where to locate this book if they wanted to get this good read.
This awesome Christian fiction novel, the only one you ever need to read, is on Amazon.com. It's available in paperback or also on Kindle or Barnes & Noble. Also, she has her own Facebook page. So if you go on to Sister Nadine's Ways, check her out, speak to her. She will definitely speak back. Now, she may say a few foul words, but in the end, she's going to say, you have a blessed day. You know them kind.
Absolutely. All too familiar growing up. Right. So, is there any issues in the Atlanta area that possibly reflects on something you'll write in the future?
Well, this is a trilogy. So I'm sure in Atlanta, just like anywhere else, you have people in churches that are walking into churches based on tradition, things they've learned, things they're seeing. They're modeling themselves after what they grew up seeing and doing. And so, yeah, even in Atlanta, you have that. You have individuals that say, it doesn't matter if we go to the club and turn up on Saturday. Mama said we got to go to church on Sunday. And so on Sunday, you get up and go to church. Well, Mama said, man can't tell me what to do. But then on Sunday, I'm going to hug him and say, I love you, baby. You know, that pastor first lady thing or that deacon thing they have going on. Yeah.
Absolutely. So before we close out, I just want to get the information so we'll be able to follow you directly on social media.
You can locate me on Facebook. Sister Nadine's Ways is the Facebook page. You can also look up author Felicia Brookins. I have 2 or 3 pages out there. You'll be able to find her. Also, if you want to contact me, author Felicia Brookins at gmail.com. Give me an email shout out. Give me a shout out on Facebook. And hey, when you're ready for the best-selling Christian fiction novel, I'll come to you.
Okay, thank you so much for coming, Felicia. And we are on the guest list We are on the guest list here at the African American on the Move Book Club here tonight. Thank you, and there's more to come. Hello, Atlanta. Atlanta. This is Patrice, and we are on the guest list at Stream, brought to you by StreamATL.net. And we are here at Urban Nights for the African Americans on the Move Book Club. And I have with me here James Crawford, and he is an author, and we're going to learn more about his book.
Yes, the title of the book is A Shattered Dream, The Cop Who Never Was. It's my autobiography. I was a cop in Detroit, retired. I've been retired 31 years now, but the stuff that's going on now is still what's going on when I was a cop in Detroit. The shooting of unarmed black men, the way the officers behave, and what this book talks about is a learned behavior. They actually teach us how to do this, how to lie, how to cover up, and if you don't do it, you pay for it, the consequences as a police officer. And it's a version that you never see. It just tells from the inside out. There are no bars hold. It tells why we do what we do, why we act the way we do, why we get away with what we do. And unless the public and the black community gets together and does something about it, they're going to continue to shoot and kill unarmed black men and get away with it.
Okay, you definitely touched on an issue that is definitely happening in the world as we know it right now. We're living Black history all over again. So I see that you mentioned that you were a police officer back in the day, and thank you so much for your service, sir. I appreciate that. So is this book based on actual events in your life?
My life story is not, there's nothing fiction about it. I only changed, the only names I changed, I didn't put last names. But I put everything that happened, the days it happened, and in the book it's got pictures, it's got newspaper articles of every event that I talk about. Any event of major consequence I talk about, there's newspaper articles to back it. And it tells you how we just taught for the very first day you're in the police academy, they tell you you're not black, you're not white, you're blue. And what that means is a code, you cover your partners behind or you pay the consequences. I chose not to. I became a lieutenant, and I just wasn't a patrolman. My back wasn't covered by the people above me or below me. And I had death threats. I've had 2 attempts on my life, actual. And all this is in here. But mainly it's trying to get the black community and the police department to come together. Otherwise, it's going to keep going. And with the current administration we have in there now, it's even worse.
We're not even going to touch on that subject because, Lord, just be a fence. But I would like to know, how did you become to the transition from police officer to author? Like, I'm sure there is a police officer right now. I don't know if you heard of Officer T. Norman. I'm sure he has a great story to tell. How could you inspire him, to be?
This is something I always want to tell my life story. Before I was a police officer, I was a high school biology teacher. And since the retirement, I've been retired 31 years, but I've never stopped working. I've been a juvenile probation officer, and I've had so many different incidents that have happened, so many incidents that affect so many different people. I need to tell people about it. It talks about things about making decisions. Make the choice yours. People can give you advice. You can listen to the advice, but the final decision is yours. Do not live your life to satisfy someone else. And that's what the book tells you about. And there's all kinds of examples in here on how I decided to do what I wanted to do instead of what people wanted me to do. And it cost me promotions, and it cost me death threats, but I feel good about myself. I can look in the mirror and say, I like what I see.
Absolutely. Thank you. So please tell these good people on how to get this book.
You can get the book on Amazon.com, or you go to www.ashattereddream.com. www.ashattereddream.com. That's my webpage. And go to Amazon.com to order the book. It's only $13. You can't beat it. If you get the the online book, it's only $10.
Thank you so much, Mr. Crawford. Thank you. All right, thank you. We're on the guest list and more to come at StreamATL.net. Hello, Atlanta. This is Patrice on the guest list, brought to you by StreamATL.net. And I am here at the Urban Book Soiree for the African Americans on the Move Book Club. And I have here the lovely, the awesome Andrea Miss Barry, if you know her well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for speaking with me. I appreciate it. Yes, thank you.
All right, no problem. Well, I wanted to talk to you more about your book. So please tell the good people about it.
So, Before Empire, Raising Brashear, Yes, the Greatest Gray, is about me being a single mom, raising 2 children, but Brashear is the star that everyone knows. The beginning of the book speaks about me being a survivor of domestic violence. Because I am a survivor of domestic violence, and I wanted to talk about it, and I talk about it a little graphic because I wanted people to understand that, just because you have a relationship with someone or have a child with someone that's abusing you doesn't necessarily mean you have to stay in the relationship. I was a young mom. I was unwed, so I was going through a lot of emotions, but I didn't let that deter me because I love my children. I love God first and then my children, and I knew that if my son's father was abusing me, that my children were possibly be at risk. So I had to end the relationship, even though I loved him dearly, but I had to end that. So I wanted to set a good example by standing up for myself and them and letting them know that this is not tolerated. The second part of the book is me discussing my son's diagnosed with ADHD and oppositional defiant disorder. And I speak about this because he first talked about it because he do a lot of charity events and he deals with the children. So I wanted to talk to the parents because we are the key. And the only way that the children won't be successful is if we advocate for them, if we educate ourselves, and we have to teach everyone else around them how to treat them because everybody doesn't understand what they go through. So I talk about me going into the school systems, educating the teachers, walking into the IEP, which is an individual education plan. And that's a contract between the school and the parent. And in that contract, it helps you help your child in getting all the resources that they need. And you put it in there, and then they have to abide by it. So I did that. And also being his manager, teaching him how to be an entrepreneur and also an entertainer instead of just putting himself in the box. I told him don't ever put yourself in the box because I knew he was multi-talented, and I wanted to nurture all of his talents. So I traveled from state to state. I've driven 24 hours just to get to one state with 6 people in one car and 6 people in the room. Because we had a production. I had dancers. I had a band. We took everybody with us. I had a social media manager, so that person would handle all the paraphernalia. So every time we performed, we gave out different flyers. So at the end of each show, we would set up enough time so his supporters could come and sign autographs and take pictures with him. And this is how he got his followers, and this is how we got people interested in him.
Wow. I would like to first say thank you for your bravery and having your courage to be able to speak on a subject that is definitely affecting not only the Black community, but a majority of culturally. So thank you for being able to be brave enough to tell your story, as well as stemming on the topic of ADHD as well.
Yes.
So that's incredible. So are you from Atlanta, Georgia?
No, actually, this is my first time when I got invited to be a presenter for the Literary Awards. I decided to come a couple days early because I know that I wanted to do media, and I wanted to let people know that the Literary Awards was happening, and also that I was doing a book signing, and then also to promote my book and my clothing line and my foundation and my entertainment company. So I've been doing that all day. I've been speaking about my foundation, which is Miss Barry Cares, and I'm going to help parents be better advocates for their children, whether it's career-driven or education-wise, so it's holistically around the board. So, yes.
Definitely. Wow. So I'm just so in awe of your just dedication towards this. This is absolutely wonderful. So what is the process that you have for the storyline specifically for this book? How did you come about brainstorming?
Well, I just wanted to be transparent, and I wanted to get out there. It's a couple things. Like, this is only book one, but I only can fit so much in this book. But I wanted to basically make sure that I was being an advocate and that I was getting out there and letting parents know that, yes, you may be going through that, but I've also been through that. I worked 2 jobs, and I was still able to do what I needed to do because I put my children first. Second, rather, because I put God first.
Amen.
Okay, so I had to pray for God to give me strength and courage and wisdom to be able to do the right things for my children. Because I do have another child who isn't in the industry who felt like that I was paying favoritism. So I had to make sure that I also dealt with her issues in reference to, you know, what she was experiencing with her brother. So I speak about all that in my book. And also being a manager and a woman in the industry, keeping my integrity and morals and understanding that I don't have to sell my soul to get my son to where I need to get to, because I know that I'm smart enough to do what I need to do because I've been a manager before and I have receipts. So I've gotten my last group with Missy Elliott. They was called Chemo. It was a young group. And Missy Elliott and Mona Scott was actually great. They signed them before they actually decided to break up. So, you know, I just wanted to talk to parents and let them know, especially women, to let them know to just hang in there. And then we are the key, irregardless of, you know, what we have going on. We are the key. We have to advocate for our children. You know, rather if they want to be a doctor. If they want to be a doctor, how are we going to help them get to the best college if we don't educate ourselves on what is needed, what's required? So it's not just if they have a disorder. It's holistically as a parent. We are the key, point blank.
Generational curses stop at the home. Absolutely. So thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate it so much, Andrea. Miss Barry, if you're nasty. All right. So, and I know you mentioned that you were a presenter. Is there anything else that you're excited about the Literacy Awards going tomorrow?
Just being here, I'm just so excited, and I'm so happy to know that this is taking place. Because I'm a first-time author, I had no idea what this entailed, and I know that there are plenty of us like that. And just for some of the authors that are recognized, I just want to be support. I just want to be here and just say thank you for all that you do, for all that you've been through to write your book, because we don't know what they've been through. So I just want to be support. I'm not being nominated, but that's fine. But I want to be support to somebody that is. Maybe next year.
Yes.
I'm going to speak into existence next year, and then they'll come support me.
From your lips to God's ears.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so tell the good people where to get your book.
You can get my book at Barnes & Noble and Amazon, Books A Million, Walmart and Target online, and Miss Barry Biz on Instagram, because I give autographed copies on my page. So we can find it.
All right, you heard it here first, coming at you on the guest list here at the African American on the Move Book Club event soiree. Thank you. This is Patrice, and we are on the guest list, brought to you by StreamATL.net. And we are here at the African Americans on the Move Book Club at Urban Night. And we have a lovely author here by the name of Sean, and she's going to tell us a little about her book.
Hey, my name is Sean. Sean Flossie, if you're looking for me on Instagram. I wrote the Nightlife Chronicles and Alley, which I just dropped last year. I write erotic fiction. Everything it's fake, but it's real. And I try to keep it real, try to keep real, relatable stories. Most of my characters are, you know, female protagonists that you really can relate to, that you'll like. And then I drop a little bit of that erotic flavor in there so that you kind of enjoy it at night. So, you know, that's a little bit about me.
Okay, so you're giving us a little bit of skills and a little bit of, let's say, life experiences now? Yeah. All right, so how long was this process in taking into your erotica? Why erotica?
I don't know. I think naturally it just came to me. You know, the stories just come. I just come up with the stories, and it's just the fun stuff I like to write about. And my viewers my readers seem to really love it. So I kind of just kept with it for sure.
Absolutely. So outside of that, is there anything in the city of Atlanta that drives you or be able to continue with, how should I word this? Be able to continue with, being able to grasp on the next novel?
So my last novel, Allie, is about a stripper, and Atlanta does strippers well. So I'm gonna say, yeah. Being in Atlanta, so I live in California, but I'm here visiting for the weekend for the AAMBC Awards. So, I'll try to make it out to a strip club or two to get some new like lives of whatever I want to write about. But yeah, so Atlanta just drives a lot of like lifestyle for writers, and definitely for me for sure.
Absolutely. I believe that we're definitely power forward in what is sexy right now. Absolutely, in the entertainment industry for sure. So I gotta ask, it's my favorite strip club. It's King of Diamonds in Miami, Florida, but that's neither here nor there. So where's yours?
My favorite strip club is DG's in Dallas, just because they're all real.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out to those places for no reason. Okay. All right, so what's the inspiration for your next book?
I'm going to actually do the sequel for the Nightlife Chronicles. And the inspiration is just my characters have grown a lot. They actually, they're coming back to me saying, like, write me again, tell my story again. So that's most of my inspiration. I just want to like get my characters back out there. They had a lot of downfalls in my first book. They went through the life experience, and now they're ready to come back. They're ready for the come up. So that is the driver for my next book.
All right, Next Generation Zane. I love it. Absolutely. So please tell these good people and where to locate this book. Specifically me.
Yeah. So you can follow me on anything at SeanFlossie.com. Or at Sean Flossie, and my website is SeanFlossie.com, and then you can buy my books at PerkPublications.com.
Okay, wonderful. And how can we find you?
Sean Flossie on everything. Just search my name. I'm out there. You can Google me. I'll be there.
Okay, so it's Sean, S-H-A-U-N?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming out, Ms. Sean. I hope you enjoy your evening. Hello, Atlanta. This is Patrice, and we are on the guest list brought to you by StreamATL.net. And I am here at the Urban Soiree Night for the African American on the Move Book Club. And I have an incredible author by the name of Janae here, and she'll be able to tell me more about her book.
All right. Well, my bad, girl. Well, I'm Janae. I'm Janae James. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I've transitioned to Baton Rouge, Louisiana after Katrina. And a collection of 29 authors come together, and we wrote a book about equality. We discussed police brutality, racism, and the historic flood of Baton Rouge. All of those issues just come together, and they make an awesome collection for people to read about different experiences. We have people of different ethnicities, different backgrounds, and they talk about all of their experiences, just not being treated fair.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's definitely a deep book. So please tell me, how did you develop these characters, and who are the characters, and how did you develop them?
Well, it's 29 authors. We're just students at Baton Rouge Community College. Our professor, Clarence Nero, he actually helped us put the whole collection together. He inspired us to write on our experiences as far as, those 3 categories. And we all just kind of came together and just put it all in one book.
So is there a character that you reflect to the most or connect with the most?
Someone that I connect with a lot is Jonathan Gray. And he's a guy that's in the book. I believe he's in the racism part. And he just kind of talks about all the things that he went through when his dad died and different things like that. And once his dad died, he started seeing a world that was opening up to where he actually identified and he knew he was black. I mean, we all knew that we were born black, but, you get around people that actually show you that you are, even more so than you just knowing it yourself.
Absolutely. So please tell me more of where to find this book.
Okay, so you can find it on Amazon.com. We sell it in our student bookstore at the BRCC campus, and right here.
Thank you so much for coming, Janae. Yes.
Thank you so much. Oh wait, I'm wrong hand.
All right, it's all right.
That was holding the book.
All right, we are on the guest list. Just spoke with Janae, and there's more to come. Hello, Atlanta. I am Patrice, and we are on the guest list brought to you by StreamATL.net. And we are here at the Urban Soiree tonight, brought to you by the African American on the Move Book Club. And I have here author Jakeen Clark, and he's going to tell us a little about his novel he's been working on.
Okay. Yeah, it's a thinly veiled autobiography about a young man who enters the corporate world, and he has a crush on an older corporate executive. So it's kind of just like a steamy romance novel that gets into the taboo of workplace romances and the dynamics between a younger man and an older woman.
Okay, so I got to know, does it get hot and steamy within the office quarters, or?
This is a part one of a larger novel. So in part two, yes, it does get hot and steamy inside the office, but right now it's just the character development, the building of the story. So the first chapter is 3 chapters in this particular novella, right? So the first 2 chapters is just building the chemistry and the connection. The 3rd chapter is when it gets hot. It gets hot.
See, I like this character already. He's a gentleman. He builds up to. He just dive into it. You know, he's like, hey, let me get to know you first, and then we can, do HR inappropriate things. Okay.
Dangerously getting fired things.
HR dangerously getting fired. I like that. So tell me, how did you get into character for this particular person? Did you see yourself in this? Is this a fantasy? How did you develop this story?
It's mostly about my life, to be honest. It's a thinly veiled autobiography, so I talk about a lot of the experiences I had, a lot of experiences I've been through. So yeah, this is loosely based on my life.
Based on your life in Atlanta?
No, I'm from New Jersey. Yeah, I'm from Paterson, New Jersey.
Yeah, okay. All right, so is there any issues in Atlanta that you would pretty much touch on in hopes of, getting a little bit of goodness done as well as getting some good done?
I'm not sure. This is one of my first times being down here. And the previous time I came, it was only for a week, and so I haven't gotten a chance to experience the Atlanta life. But I do want to come down and really take it in, because I hear great things when I'm up top. So, yeah.
So tell me about the breakdown of the story process. How did you say, okay, even though this is autobiography, what parts did you want to put in that was too graphic in your mind? Or what parts, that you leaved out? Give me the unrated version.
I'm not, it's an emotional story. It's an emotional journey, because even the main character, Amar, he's coming from a heartbroken place, And one of the catchphrases of the book is, she was his better half, but she made me feel whole again. So with her, he's kind of finding himself after a heartbreak. She, on the other hand, is kind of the real life routine of being married, being a corporate mom, corporate working woman and a mom is kind of getting mundane. So in him, she's seeing excitement. So it's a connection that they come together and really make it work. For me, writing it, I didn't want to dive into as many emotions as I did, but to bring the story to life, I had to do it. So, yeah. And I got a network of women, editors, around me, just to let me know that I'm on the right path.
So I know the women are going to eat this up, but do you want the men to gather something from this too? And if so, what?
Like you were saying earlier, build up to the romance. You know what I mean? I think, not that I'm a educator by no means, but if a male chooses to read it, pick up and read it, what I would like them to take away is romance women. You know what I mean?
Okay, so what you're saying is you're going to school men on communication. Is that what I'm hearing?
I did not say that, but if I'm influential in it, I'll take it.
He needs to school people on communication. No, but thank you. Please tell the people where to get this book.
Right now, I just got the copies. It's going to be on Amazon in 2 weeks. I got my contact information on the back of the book and on the bookmarks that I have at my station. So I'll drop it off to you, and you can tell the people. Awesome.
Okay. Don't you try to flirt with me, sir. All right now, because I flirt back. All right, but thank you for on the guest list. Thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate you. All right, and more to come with great, amazing authors. Hello, Atlanta. This is Patrice, and we are on the guest list brought to you by StreamATL.net. And we are here at Urban Night Soiree for the African American on the Move Book Club. And I have with me here the lovely Miss Andrea Mel. And I would love to hear more about your book. The title is interesting. Please tell us more about it.
Well, my book is about a young girl. Actually, let me start by saying this is a series, so this is book number 2. The first book talked about the mother, and it was from the mother's perspective, and this book is from the daughter's perspective. She is being abused by her father, and she tries to keep a secret, and the secret drives her crazy, and she ends up in a mental institution. And through this process of trying to find herself and understand why this happened to her, she learns how to get past it. And even though she kept having these pitfalls of these secrets and more secrets that have gone on in her life, she ends up with redemption at the end, and she is able to pull herself out and move on. And that's what we all need, is redemption.
That is wonderful. Wow, you touched a lot of issues that's happening specifically in the Black community. All right, we just, for the unfortunate and tragic passing of Anthony Bourdain, just a wonderful soul. Just showcase just an incredible storytelling, showcase the world. So regarding this targeted mental health issue, is this something that you mentioned as a series that you'll be able to keep building on and possibly curing it? How would you do it?
I wish I could cure it. That would be great. Actually, what I try to write about is the human spirit. You know, the first book talks about the mom who is in love with a man that doesn't love us. We all know that story. Except she gets caught up. He's murdered, and she gets caught up in his murder. So then she's, again, trying to be delivered, or trying to pull herself through, use her faith and her strength, and other women come to her defense and things like that. And I think that's important, because oftentimes we don't understand how many other people contribute to our lives and help us be who we are. So I think that's just wonderful. But unfortunately, there's always the byproducts. And the byproducts, one of them being this daughter who ends up in trouble.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for having the audacity to bring a light, shine a light to a very serious issue in this community. So how did you even come about having this published, just saying, I got to get this story told?
You know, it's funny because the first book took 10 years. It took a very, very long time. I was a school teacher, and I taught English for over 20 years. And so I had to do it in between reading papers, in between, grading papers and lesson plans. And so mostly I only got to write in the summer. And so it just went on and on and on. And when I really got serious about it, it took 2 years. So it's a time-consuming type of thing. And this book took a lot less time, which is really awesome. I'm retired now, so now I'm working on book 3, and it deals with the new husband and how all this comes into play. And it's just, but most importantly, I want people to know that there is a redeemer, and there's redemption out there. There's a way out, and you just have to look for it, and you have to be willing to listen.
Absolutely. Listen, look out. There is more to life. Absolutely. Mental health awareness is real, and thank you for having the audacity in your book again. I'm just really excited about that, because it's definitely an issue that I'm passionate about. Well, absolutely. Please tell the people on where to get this.
The book is available on Amazon.com. It's also available online for Barnes & Noble. And on Amazon, it's available in book form or in ebook. And the same thing, just on book form in Barnes & Noble.
So, as a member of African American Book Club on the Move Book Club, how are you nominated?
I have not been, to my knowledge.
Okay. So, do you know anybody that is nominated that you're rooting for in a category that you hope that they would win?
I'm afraid not. I don't know.
Hey, no problem. No problem at all.
It's funny because when you're writing, I don't really have time to read, and I don't like to read when I'm writing because I don't want someone else's story to get in my head. And being an English teacher, you know, I haven't read a whole lot of stuff through my career, and I have to be really, really careful that I'm not plagiarizing or that I'm not pulling other people's things. And that's why the sequels work well for me, because I created these characters in my head, and then I can continue to make them grow.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming out, Miss Andrea Mel, and please enjoy the rest of your evening. And we are on the guest list brought to you by StreamATL.net, and we have more amazing authors to come. Hello, Atlanta. This is Patrice, and we are on the guest list brought to you by StreamATL.net. I am here at the Urban Nights Soiree, or the African American on the Move Book Club, and I have here the lovely Dontea, also known as the Red Phoenix. Recognize, know it, believe it. And she is an author, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her book.
Hi, thank you for having me. So this is my very first published book. It's called Love Betrayed. I published this in January of last year. I did a double feature, but this one I have been working on for years. And I even have a character named after my son in this book. It's an urban romance about a love story gone wrong, so it kind of keeps pulling you in. So it's my favorite book. And
Wonderful. So let's say that this is maybe a story of your life or a story of actual events.
so everybody thinks it's a story of my life. It's not. It's just something I came up with. And then my husband drew this cover, and so everybody thinks it's really him and I on the cover because it kind of resembles us. But it's not. It's just something I came up with.
So how did you get inspired to write this particular book? So I know what it feels like to have something like in a dream and you're like, oh goodness, I need to wake up and write this down. Was it something like that? How did you get that epiphany? How did you get that aha moment?
So I've been writing since elementary, and I've had these characters since elementary. I just like making stuff up in my head because it helps me deal with the real world. You know, a lot of stuff be going on. And the stories just come to me. So the characters, they talk to me. Like I'll be talking to somebody and they start talking to me. So then I keep a pen and a paper so I can just jot everything down.
Yes. As a fellow writer, I know exactly what you mean. Okay. Right. So what is the setting of your book? Like, where is it based?
So this book, I said I started it in elementary. So this one is based in California. Every other book that I've ever written is based in Minnesota. But I've always wanted to move to California. So this was my dream book. And so they live in California.
Wonderful. So regarding your California, your West Coast, and all the way back to the East Coast in Atlanta, is there any issues maybe for your next book that would inspire you to write? Any issues in Atlanta per se?
Not currently.
All right, no problem. So how did you get about to publishing your book?
So I've had this book written on my computer for like probably 5 years, just written, sitting. And my husband was like, you love to write. You should just publish it. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, I'm not going to be able to do that. Like, people who publish books are like well known. And he was just like, try it. So I put my 2 weeks notice in at work, and I just focused on doing my dream. And I published this book and another book on the same day.
I want to personally thank you, sister, for having the guts to be able to go after your dreams when your talents are screaming at you in your mind, and you said, I got to write this down because somebody needs to know this story. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So please tell the good people on where to locate this book.
So it's on Amazon. It's also on www.itsinfamous.com. You can follow me on Instagram or Twitter, Facebook. All of them are Red Phoenix. You can go to my Red Phoenix page, click the shop now, and my books are there available.
Great. Is there any social media they can personally find you?
Yep. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Everything is Red Phoenix, REDPHENIXED.
Well, thank you so much, Phoenix. It was lovely meeting you. Great to have you. And keep on writing, girl. Keep going through that talent. All right, and we are on the guest list, brought to you by StreamATL.net, and there is more to come. There you have it, Atlanta. We are closing from an incredible night here at the Urban Book Night for the African Americans on the Move Book Club. I spoke to some incredible people ranging from all types of walks of life, especially in diversity of their books. And if you want to check us out, because you definitely do want to check us out some more, you can follow us at streamatl.net and also on Instagram at streamatl. And you can follow me at Labella Treesy, and that's Labella, Treesii. So you have an incredible night, because I definitely had fun, and we are here at Paulie's downtown in Marietta Street. All right, stay tuned for more episodes on the guest list.